Here. There he goes. All right. Thank you all. You guys are continuing to come back to my stuff, so I appreciate that. And you guys all have my books now, so maybe this will make sense in another context. In your own time, you'll notice like a lot of the stuff I talk about is time released. So like if you don't get it now, don't worry about it. You can ask questions, you can comment on it, feel free to, but don't stress out about like not understanding it, because it's going to be like high density information, which I have talked about previously about densities. It is time released, so when it's ready, it'll come to you. I'll be talking about controversial stuff as always. Very controversial. So if you guys, right? What's that?
So my favorite type.
I know you guys are all out of the box thinkers, so this is not gonna be a problem. But if at any time you it doesn't fit with your understanding, you can leave it or you can question it. You can raise your hand or whatever. But I'll just ask that you can ask questions. I want this to be a discussion. But if you have a comment on anything, just please wait until the intervals. But if you have a question, I can immediately answer it, clear it up.
You mean a controversial comment, like a debate?
Well, I welcome debates if they're question and answer that type. Okay. But if there's comments statements back and forth, it's kind of leads you nowhere.
I see what you're saying.
So I'll be moving here pretty fast, and if you guys want to talk about whatever, then let's talk about it. So I'm just gonna go over this quick little analysis here, and it's gonna help. So the card. So before I get into psychic stuff, this is gonna help. This is gonna help. Be helpful. So these are all objects, right? Objects are external, and in the center here is the being, the unconscious mind. It's you're thoughtless. You're thoughtless here. It's just your being. A lot of people say your being's in the in the navel, right? In the chakra, the sacral, and the root. So that's where your being is here. And here in the middle, this middle area. Well, what is that? This middle area, that's a nose, guys, right here. It's a nose. That's an eye. That's an ear. And this is a hand. And then what else? We have a tongue. I won't draw the tongue. Maybe just the tongue. So, in the middle, okay, so in our center of our being is our completely subjective state. In the middle ground here, where our awareness automatically, is present most of the time, right? That's where most of our consciousness goes around. We associate objects with what they taste like, with what they feel like, what they sound like. Banging something against another thing. See how it sounds? Even scales of music, right? What note is that? What note is this? We associate objects with our senses, our bodily senses, and in the same distance it takes to go out of your being, and I should say because your consciousness is always in this middle ground here, automatically, right? People aren't their awareness isn't subtle. Most people, they're not in their own being, which I'm talking about the psychic part. That's your own subtle awareness. That is in the center of your being. It's thoughtless. It's completely feeling. It's completely feeling type. So I'll just keep reinforcing that psychic idea. Psychic. It's all about the personal experience. So we associate objects with how they, with our bodily senses, and it's the same distance, to go from here, where your bodily senses are, to objects, to the internal being. It's the same distance. You're just directing your awareness in a different path, different direction. It's the same distance. Mm-hmm. You can shut out, you can close and bar the senses, right? That's what yogis do. That's what all the great wise people do. They meditate. And that is a way to develop your own being, to develop your own feeling state, to develop your own sensitivity. So barring the senses is one way, but I'll be giving you guys a couple exercises which will be helpful. But essentially what every practice is doing, whether it's spiritual, like yogic practices, yoga, playing music, or watching TV, or anything, any and all things that we do in activity, is to get out of our state of thoughts, to get out of our feeling state, to go to a different place, to visit a different place, right? So when something is objective, it becomes relative. Thoughts are time. Time is relative. Time is thoughts. Time is finite. It's it's beginning. There's a beginning and an end to it, right? So, once something becomes in time, it becomes relative, right? Okay, I'm not gonna stick on this really abstract shit right now. I'm just this is gonna help doing the exercise. But yeah, so the objects here are just a way for us when people say that they're extroverted or introverted. And I don't believe that crap. I think, in each moment we are. And one thing I want you guys to help me, you guys have heard me probably talk about time, but our understanding of time is not complete. So, Jake, you already know this, but Jackson, you probably already know this, but, we believe that time is, linear, right? Beginning, and it's actually, it's all happening at once. It's all happening everything is occurring all at once. The future, let's just say here, just for our linear minds, let's say this is the beginning of the universe. This is all going to make sense. This is going to develop you intuitively and psychically. So don't be like, why am I not developing psychically? This is bullshit. So that's the beginning, that's the ending. So I talk about densities, called densities of material. Densities is referring to basically the quality of matter. So the more light it gets, the more destroyed matter it gets. The more, it's hard to say. It's more spacey. There's less matter, the more light it is. Also in weight, but I meant the more light quotient it has. So, which light is actually the physical manifestation of awareness. It's the physical, someone installed these lights and someone was aware that they could conduct electricity through this glass and light. Someone was aware, and they So this is there's 7 densities. Everybody know the chakras here. Chakras, cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we'll do 6. And the beginning here, we're in about here, right here, almost in the 3rd and 4th, somewhere in there. And this is the whole of the universe, all of existence here. And time is happening all at once. So thoughts are time, and like when you feel something, these are all like thought. These are all parallel realities. These are all like existing simultaneously. Like they could be universes. They could be not universes. I'm sorry, galaxies. You can call them galaxies. They're just getting more microscopic as you go along, but on a big scale, if we were to look at like the whole physical universe, you can call them galaxies. So the physical universe is, okay, I'm getting way ahead of myself here. Time is happening all at once, and we think in linear terms, like my arm is here and then here, like that's one movement, right? Like that's one moment in time. It's like this. Like me doing that, that's one moment in time. But really, this is a moment in time, 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 blah, 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 blah. So all those moments are like locations, and they're like they're locations that you can transport to with your mind. And when something happens, like you get into a car accident or something, that's traumatic. Let's say something nice. Let's say what happens? Like a baby is born or something in your family. Like you stop thinking and you're like beholding this magnificent moment, like your child is being born, and afterwards you think to yourself, you think, holy shit, that was amazing. And that thought is you're going back in time. You're going back when you think like, oh, you can never think when in the moment. You can never. So in each parallel reality, which is in each moment, we always go back to the previous one or something to like validate ourselves. But the real true freedom in our psychic awareness and like our own ability to shed and cleanse ourselves is to no longer associate your reality with the previous moment. And like that is truly like where independence and power comes in. And I'll go into that. I'll go into this more in depth about the densities and like how it's when it's helpful and how it's helpful. And going into fourth density, like third density is all about choice and awareness. I'll look at that. Okay, I'm moving a little fast here. Gotta back up. So let's have you close your eyes. Just want you to experience this a little bit. So, eye movement is thinking. So, whenever you're moving your eyes, your mind is aware on some level. Like even when you're dreaming, your mind is aware. It's wanting to keep you alive, and it's going automatically. And this awareness is relative, and it's incomplete. It's not absolute. So, when you try and focus your eyes on, just try and see if you can keep your eyes still for a second. That you can't keep them still because you're thinking. But this is a practice you can do. This is a practice, like if you focus your awareness on your eyes and keep them, because that's where a lot of our consciousness is at all times. So if you do this, you can do this anywhere at any time. So if you are feeling like you're being overwhelmed by thoughts and emotions, because they are the same. Emotions are the reaction to thoughts. And emotions are the direct indication of how correct your thinking is with your higher self. And I'll go into that. So this is a great exercise here. You can also, of course, connect with the breath. And that will get you into the body consciousness. So if you're overactive in your mind, you can direct your consciousness into the body and go out of time and become in the present moment where you have the only power you have. So if you're too bodily oriented, you can go into the mind. There's always a balance. There's an escape route. There's a way out, so to speak. So this is great for getting into the body immediately. And breath. That brings me to breath. So I would like for you guys to try this. It's a great exercise. So have you open your eyes slowly and softly. Hold your arms out and make a V with your thumbs, like this. Yeah, like that. Direct your eyesight in the middle of the V. And now take a deep exhale let some air out and some sound. And then on your inhale for 5 seconds. Exhale for 5 seconds. And hold your breath for 15 seconds. It's really hard. Holding your breath for 15 seconds is difficult, and it gets you out of your mind. It gets you into the body, gets you into the breath. So this is a great exercise when you're feeling like overwhelmed by thoughts. And you're gonna feel like you're gonna die. That's what the thing is. Like, you're gonna feel like you're dying. Once you exhale all your breath 5 seconds and hold it, like you're out of air. So it's like super difficult, but that's a great practice to get out of there, to get out of your mind. So that's a good thing to know. You guys have any other exercises that you want to share? That maybe you guys, that helps you? Go ahead.
One for understanding all that time stuff.
Yeah.
A good exercise that I like is to instead of trying to get into the present moment, to recognize that you're already always in it by noticing whenever you're thinking about the past, it's happening now. Whenever you're thinking about the future, it's happening now. And when you start getting really familiar with that, you can start to notice that there's no distinction between the present moment and your own awareness.
Mm-hmm. That's very abstract. Do you have any
maybe just the first part then.
Yeah, a lot of people like the physical exercise. I don't know. It sounds like you're very mental dude, so. But yeah, that will help for sure.
Yeah, I like how you're talking about time and the breath and how, the only moment is now. And so what I like to think of if I'm, stuck in my head or caught on any particular thing is I'll just snap my fingers. Now.
There you go.
Now. Now. Okay. What do I want to think about now? It doesn't matter what I was just thinking about. Doesn't matter what's going on. If I have something bothering me, or if I want to change my mindset, or change the level of frequency my brain is at. All right, we're back.
And then you go back out. You
go
back into time. Yeah. Yeah, that's that's the lesson we're learning here. Not just here in 34th density right now. So I just want to go over real quick, like the kind of like a really practical way to think about thought forms. And it's gonna be it's gonna be really fun. This is supposed to be the ways. The meditating. Okay. I talk about this in the book a little bit. Like, because thought forms, they exist on a particular frequency domain. Remember when I was talking about like the whole universe is categorized into 7 basic frequencies like red, orange, yellow. Our understanding of it, the way we're supposed to understand the universe, we think of it in 7. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, or what is it? Blue, indigo, purple. Purple's like, super just ultraviolet light. I don't know, it's pure light. But anyway, so each thought is kind of like coming from a frequency domain of a density. It's not restricted. Time is only restricted by if it's like how relative it is, like how relative your consciousness is. People can only think about like they're only thinking about the next week or the next day. Where some people think about 30 years in the future and shit. It's like crazy. But anyway, so you're accessing that frequency domain and that parallel reality that exists in the future or past, and each thought comes from a location in time and space. Each thought. So it's not going to be always. It's never yours, actually. No thoughts are yours. Only thing that is yours is your awareness in the body now. So all thoughts are entities, and that's what we're learning on 4th density. At least, the people that really want to get out of this whole duality thing, which is like from here to here. And that's what the whole thing is, like transcending this positive and negative polarity. I'll talk about this now. Thought forms are like little asteroids or little planets orbiting your electromagnetic field. Like you are a body, like you're the planet, and like the asteroids or the satellites. They're satellites, right? They go in and out of your awareness, and when you meditate, so your awareness is always going outward, like as I talked before, how it's automatically going to objects. And that is very normal, it's natural. Like that's where we came from. It's like it's 2nd density when we're animal consciousness. You guys were all animals, I was an animal. I fucking love being an animal. So like just embrace it, we were animals before. So we're still animals. Like that lifetimes when I was an animal, it all exists now. I can go back to it. I can go back to being the wolf. I can go back to being the hawk. I can go back to being the squirrel, the rabbit. It's like, anyway. What I was getting at was that, why did I bring an animal into this? So the thought forms are usually, they're not positive or negative. They're not good or bad. It's like, it's what you do with them that's good or bad. No? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, so typically, like, the mind and thoughts will always like want to we'll choose a problem, we'll make a problem out of nothing, and then solve the problem, and then that solution will create more problems, always. There never was a problem to begin with. There was never a problem. It's all thought-based. It's all relative. You're associating the present moment with another time where it was better or worse, and like your mind's always trying to fix problems and like survive, and that is like very negative. Like not negative and bad, but like that's like service to self, consciousness, wanting to survive, that's like very natural. Like it's not good, bad, right, wrong. Like the universe wants you to fucking survive, so survive. But the service to other consciousness is where it is positive, and I'll just go into this like real quick. Like first density is very negative. Like it's very, you're an asteroid, you're a rock trying to make its way around. So that consciousness is like all about service to self. As an animal, your service to others, you're kind of in a herd or a family. Like it's positive, and it's like, you're having this group. Oh yeah, wolves even. Almost all animals have like a pack mentality, right? A herd. So like that's what gets us so far back. Like when we're trying to go out away from the group, like the herd mentality, which is so deeply ingrained in our subconscious, which is existing right now. Like my animal self, that's my subconscious like kicking in when I get afraid of like me doing me, and like me doing what the fuck I want to do, like because in my animal state that's going on now, like if I was to do independence, like that would mean I'd die, right? I would die by myself. So it's like that subconscious is there for a reason, and it's benefiting you. Like you cannot like get down about yourself about like wanting to like stay safe, because the safety that it's serving us. It's like making us feel secure and like protected and like nourished. It makes us feel all those things, and like the feeling state that you are is the direct communication that your higher self is communicating to you. So your state of being, which is your feeling state, is your indicator for how on track or aligned you are with your sixth density self. Right? Your sixth density self like is at the end of duality, at the end of like its whole life as matter, and like it's going into the other it's going into another thing. And at the beginning, so like these things are black holes, right? The black holes are like they're like entrances and exit points of universes. So this is law of one, by the way. I didn't make this up. They're all at that moment in sixth density, where that you're on that precipice of like dissolving completely into like nothing, or that's negative thinking. I'll say all thoughts are either positive or negative. I'm moving fast, guys, so try and keep up. But all thoughts are positive or negative, and stop or service to self or service to others. And each thought is like I had to bring my ego into that, didn't I? So okay. Your entrance points into this density. Shit, where was I? Fuck. So I just completely lost my track. 1 second. Okay, so your sixth density self is always existing simultaneously, always like that moment where it's about to dissolve into the next universe or the next place, because life is, anyway, it is always there. So it's always communicating to you at all times. And it's very subtle. It takes a very keen, subtle awareness of your being, your inner world, your own reality, which we all are in. We're not sharing a reality. We think we are, but it's all just our own. Anyway, not going to get into that. So that communication down to us in the third density here, right here, almost in fourth, we're like I don't fucking know, but we're somewhere there. We're somewhere like here. Somewhere there. In linear time. But you can always access fifth and sixth density information. And second density information is healing. It's healing the body. If you want to heal your body, you want to go second. For sure. But as you go up, you're going more out of the body. So we definitely have work to do down there. We're always doing work everywhere. But anyway, so the sixth density self is like coming back. The sixth density self that has experienced all of it and is done with it, done with all of this stuff in this universe. It's always communicating back to me as that individuated state in third density, because the higher in density you go, the less individuated you are, the less singular. So so the light. So say this is the future and this is the past, just for linear purposes, and this is the beginning of the universe, and this is the ending of the universe. And the light, say the light from the future is shining on is so lit up. It's very outgoing. It's very positive. It's like a giant sun, right? This is just an example. I don't even know if this is correct, but this is gonna help. The farther you go, let's draw a butterfly. The butterfly in sixth density is pure light. You can't see it. From our point of view here in third, we are looking at the butterfly. We're looking for the butterfly up there, right? And this is just metaphorical, but we're looking